Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be planting mint in pots. I also want to share with you a couple of really interesting varieties and a couple of tips on how to grow mint successfully in containers. So why don't we start first with some really interesting varieties that are worth trying. So I think the most commonly grown mint is spearmint, so Mentha spicata, and as long as this one is really awesome because it works for many different things. Like you can use it in cooking, you can use it in cold drinks and summer cocktails, you can use it in desserts. It works really great for like herbal infusions or mint teas. But there are a whole bunch of different mint varieties that are really interesting and that are worth giving a try. And one of those mints is peppermint. I'm a huge fan of peppermint, and if you are a fan of mint teas or herbal infusions, I highly encourage you to give it a try to this one. This one is way stronger than spearmint. For example, this one has as much as 40% of menthol, whereas spearmint only contains about 0.5%. So this one definitely gives a stronger kick, definitely stronger flavor, a little bit more spicy, a little bit more peppery. So this one is really great for herbal teas and infusions. And then there's a whole bunch of fruit flavored mints that are really, really awesome. And for my container garden for this year, I picked, for example, strawberry mint. And if you rub your fingers on the leaves, you can definitely smell strawberries. Such a beautiful fragrance. And this one will work really well for desserts, for cocktails, for summer drinks and stuff like that. And then I have orange mint. Here again, if you rub your fingers on the leaves, you can definitely smell this kind of citrus smell. So just like the strawberry mint, I think will be great for summer drinks and cocktails, for desserts and stuff like that. And then there's a whole bunch of other fruit flavored mints, for example, banana or apple. Another interesting one that I grew last year was a pineapple mint. And not only because it has a very specific flavor, but it's also variegated. So it could very well serve you as an edible plant and as an ornamental plant. And then there's also chocolate mint, another one that I tried last year. This one is really specific. If you like that mix of flavors of chocolate and mint, then I think you'll be a huge fan of this type of mint. For me, it kind of tastes like those candies after 8. I don't know if you guys know them, but that's what just makes me think too. So definitely a great mint if you like that combo of mint and chocolate. It would work really well in hot chocolates, in chocolate desserts and stuff like that. I purchased all of these in a local garden center, but I've seen them available online in many garden centers, many online nurseries. So I think I don't think you should have a problem finding these online if you can't find them anywhere locally. And then you can also buy seeds, but you'll have to start those early in the season because they do take some time to grow when they are grown from seeds. Now, when it comes to planting mint, I highly encourage you to grow mint in containers, no matter if you have a container garden or a regular garden. It's a good idea to grow mint in container because mint is very invasive. So if you plant it directly in the ground, you're never gonna get rid of it. It's super invasive. First of all, the moment the stems touch the ground, and they start to root in immediately, and then the plant itself sends off kind of horizontal runners underground, and then it starts to pop out everywhere in your garden. And because they're pretty winter hardy, they're perennial, they're gonna come back every year. So once you plant it directly in the ground, it's really hard to get rid of it, and it takes over the entire space. So always a good idea to grow it in containers, but also be careful where you place your container, because if you place it directly on the ground, the mint can grow out of the drainage hole and spread in your garden this way as well. So be careful with mint as it's really, really invasive. Mints are not very picky, so it doesn't matter what type of container you choose. Terracotta, plastic, galvanized bucket, it all works well. Just keep in mind that in pots like terracotta, soil dries out quicker, so you may need to water your mint more often if it's grown in a terracotta pot versus plastic pot. As for the size of the container, choose a container that's at least 20 to 25 centimeters tall and wide. You can always choose something larger, because mint is one of those plants, the more space you give it, the larger it grows, but don't choose anything smaller than this, because mint grows vigorously, it has a pretty large root system, it likes the soil to be consistently moist. This is already a decent size. You will already enjoy quite a lot of mint, and then, as I said, you can always choose something larger than this. So I place mesh hole pad at the bottom of my container. This prevents soil from coming out of the pot, but at the same time allows water to drain properly. And now I will fill the container with a multi-purpose potting mix, good quality multi-purpose potting mix with added perlite. Mint needs the soil to be well draining, but also pretty water retentive. So you can also add a few handfuls of organic matter, such as compost or worm castings or humus or something like that. As you can see, these are the horizontal runners I spoke about, and you see what it does. It spreads this way, roots in, and then it pops out everywhere. So I'm gonna plant it at the same depth. You can loosen the root system a little bit, but not too drastically. So I'm gonna plant it at the same depth. It was planted in its nursery pot in the center of my container. Make sure that all the roots are covered. Press the soil gently. And don't fill all the way until the top, because you still need a little bit of space to water your plant properly. Okay, so now that they are all planted, tip number 1 is sun exposure. It's not true that mint needs a full sun exposure. It grows equally well in partial shade as it does in full sun. In my container garden, I receive about 3 to 4 hours of morning sunlight, and I've grown all kinds of mints over the past 8 to 9 years, and they all grow really, really well, and I have a really nice harvest from my plants. So if you have a shady garden, but if your shady garden receives a little bit of sunlight, at least 3 hours of morning sunlight, then go ahead and plant mint. It should do really well in your garden as well. Now, tip number 2 is watering. Mints like the soil to be consistently moist. So water your mint regularly, and then stick a finger into the soil, and if the top layer of soil still feels wet to touch, wait a couple more days, and then stick a finger again. If the top layer feels dry to touch, it's a good moment to water your mint plant. That means that in the heat of summer, you probably need to water your mint at least 2-3 times a week. You don't need to water it every day, but at least 2-3 times a week would be a good idea. Now, tip number 3 is fertilizing. Do not fertilize your herbs or aromatic plants too often, because the more you fertilize them, the more leggy they tend to grow, and they also tend to lose their flavor and aroma. Herbs and aromatic plants grow better in poor soils with low fertility. They tend to be more aromatic and more tasty. So don't stress too much about it. You don't have to fertilize your herbs regularly. I usually fertilize my herbs just after planting. I give them a dose of organic fertilizer suitable for the growth phase, and then sometime mid-summer I will fertilize them again, but usually not more often than that. And tip number 4 is keep harvesting or keep pruning your mint. Even if you don't use a lot of mint, if you only need a little bit, it's still a good idea to give your mint a little haircut every now and then, because this way your mint will grow better, it will grow healthier, it will produce more. So it's not a good idea to let your mint just grow enormous and let those stems get a little bit leggy and tangled. So keep it fairly small, keep it compact, keep harvesting it. It will grow healthier, it will taste better, and it will prevent your mint plant from creating that very unattractive woody base. Okay, so here is my quick tutorial on how to plant and grow mint in containers. Hope you found some helpful tips in today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see each other in the next one.